Hold on to your hat. This is RantRadioNetwork.com.
Live from the Rant Radio Network, you're listening to Real Estate Rant with your host, Alex Alanis,
and your co-host, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez.
No problems, just solutions for real estate needs, hot topics, and controversial chat. Hello there, Rant Radio listeners. Welcome to Real Estate Rant. I'm here, your host, Mr. Alex Alanis, with Mr. Juan Ramos. Hello there, Juan.
Good morning, everybody.
Make sure you're talking to the mic, Juan.
Good morning,
First
everybody.
time in the studio, and across from me here, I've got Mr. Mario Flores with Clean to Please.
Good morning, everybody.
Top of the morning to you. This morning, I would like to just mention to everybody, you can call in with your questions, comments, or your beefs. Now, a beef is a complaint about real estate, right? You can call in at 855-693-4897. You can also email us any questions, comments, or beefs at realestaterantradio@gmail.com. That's kind of funny, Mario. You like that?
What kind of beefs do you have in real estate?
Well, I don't know, a complaint. I mean, you never had any complaints in real estate?
Oh, yeah, plenty.
What about you, Juan? You have some complaints?
Well, I hear a lot of complaints all the time from numbers of people.
Right on. Okay. Let's hear one.
For example, everybody's complaining about the market being changed. You know, everybody's trying to buy a house, but it's very hard for them to acquire either a loan or find their property.
So lack of inventory.
Exactly.
Lack of inventory. Right on. Okay. So anyway, we talked about that last week a little bit. Alonso and I. Now, Alonso couldn't make it today. He's actually out of state, so we will be missing him today. Hello to Mr. Alonso. My broker, Alonso Rodriguez. He's actually the co-host. And Juan's sitting in for him today. And actually, Juan, you actually work for a printing company. What's the name of the company?
That is correct. The company, it's We Print With You.
We Print With You, and that's the letter U, right? Not
That is correct.
Y-O-U. Okay, right on. And we'll put out a plug for them. I did want to mention, though, today, I wanted to actually thank the Rant Radio Network individuals that are behind the scenes here. A lot of respect and shout out go to those gentlemen. And Mr. Davis just walked in the door. How are you, sir? And anyway, make a long story short, it takes a lot of I don't know, what would you call it? Coolions. You need the coolions, right, to get something like this going. And I just wanted to throw a shout out to these gentlemen, Mr. Phil Longoria, Mike Barrio, Alan Lopez, Mr. Arvin Ochoa, behind the scenes. Takes a lot to go through that. Today, I have some gifts to give out for any callers that get on the show. I have a $25 gift card from Stevens Steakhouse, located in the city of Commerce. You ever eaten at Stevens?
Oh, yeah.
Mario?
Been there a couple times.
Very
yeah.
good place, huh? I
Yeah.
love this.
It's
the
historic.
steaks.
Historic place, man. Been there forever.
Yeah, right on. Juan, you ever eaten at Stevens?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I have.
Right on. Do they have lobster there? I don't remember. I remember the prime rib.
I don't know if they have lobster, and I've never ordered it. I can't afford lobster, man. What are you talking about?
I can't afford lobster. You feeling me? Okay. Anyway, so about that. Today we're going to be talking dirty, actually, right? Or I guess from any frame of reference, it would be clean as well, right? One way or the other, right? Metaphorically and hypothetically, right?
Right. Because we get down and dirty a lot.
We get down and dirty. I mean, that's how we do it, right?
It's a business.
We do it.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a business.
We do
it.
Yeah.
It's a business. We do
Yeah.
it. It's a business.
There's an echo going on there. I don't know what's having a little technical difficulty. Anyway, I wanted to start off this morning with an email that I got from a listener. I have their email address, but no name. They didn't say who it was. And I wanted to just kind of briefly, it was a brief email, and it pretty much talked about what authority or what right do I have to do a radio show for real estate, right? And, at first I took offense to it, but what happened was after I started thinking about it, I go, you know what, this is a legitimate question, right? So I wanted to kind of delve in a little bit to my qualifications as a realtor and a real estate agent, and also my experience, which in essence, the wisdom comes along with it, right? Mm-hmm. But let me ask you, Juan, you've done a little bit of real estate too, right?
Yes, I have.
How did you get into the real estate business?
Through numbers of people, I got invited to do real estate. This gentleman invited me back in 1997. I s-
97.
yes, sir.
Wow. Okay, that's some time ago.
Exactly. I started doing some real estate on the side. Then I got involved in loans. I worked for numbers of banks. I did some loans in Arizona. And, well, the market crashed.
When now the market crash, you're talking about the '07 crash?
No, I'm talking about, yes, exactly. As a matter of fact, I am.
Okay. So the market crashed, and then we all had to kind of do something else, right? I mean, that's what happened. Well, I actually started. I did my first transaction in '87, and actually, I was working with my dad, and at that time, you didn't need a license to do loans, right? So it was just, hey, if you were able to bring in a lead or bring in somebody to the company to do a transaction, right? You could bring them in, and they pretty much would handle it for you, right? You didn't need a license to do it. But that was my very first transaction. It was probably mid '87, right? So that puts about 25 years under my belt. So to the listener, that's the first part of my resume. Okay.
Exactly.
Now in 1988, I actually did my first appraisal. Now at that time, 1988, again, appraisers were not required to have a license at that time. All you had to do is belong to an appraisal organization, right? And I think at the time it was National Association of Realtors, or there was the Appraisal Institute.
You had to go to school and learn how to do it, right?
Well, I mean, they did have schooling, but all you had to do is pay their dues to get into that, and that's how it was at the time. It's a lot different now, but again, put it on my resume, right? 1988. Well, I started working with a company out in West Covina, where I started doing appraisals for them as well as for various other companies, and that's how I got into the appraisal field, right? I opened my own company. I believe it was in 92, 93. It was a company here in Downey, and I had started taking on trainees and started training appraisers at that time, because some of my teachings, my own teachings, were in commercial background. So I did a lot of narrative writing, right? And in the whole appraisal field, in order to be popular as an appraiser, you would have to get the deals closed. And I was good at doing that because I was able to narratively write these things, okay? So anyway, make a long story short, I started my own company and started to take on trainees. And at some point, I had 7 appraisers working for me out of my office. We were probably putting out about 250 appraisals a month. Okay, a lot of work.
2,000.
I was probably working, 14, 16-hour days sometimes. It was very, very hard time, right? But the money was coming in. It was, was good, and that was that part of it. In the mid 90s now, I got into some expert witness work where I actually worked on some federal cases, federal indictments, and was able to get into the kind of the court arena and with attorneys. And I worked on 5 different cases, right? Ultimately winning each case, and the prosecuting attorneys didn't like me very much because, I convinced the courts that I was right and they were wrong, right? And
what was it for, though? What were you going?
oh, you had to ask that question, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, you brought it up, right?
Exactly.
Well, exactly. Okay. Well, I mean, I just wanted to mention my qualifications, but this is what was happening at the time. The federal indictees, they all pleaded guilty to loan fraud. Okay, but the prosecution, and I won't say who it was, the prosecution was looking for restitution on those loans. Okay, so what the defendants were saying is that, hey, you know what? They came up with a piece of paper saying what their value was. How are they coming up with this number when this house sold for almost twice the amount of money, right? So this is where I came in. They hired me they actually hired me to come up with a value, and it was historical. It was probably about 5 years behind. Come up with a value and figure out what the real restitution should be. If they owe some money for the indictment because they pleaded guilty, then they should pay it. But what they were complaining about was it was too much money, right? So on the first one, it was $150,000, and we got it dropped to $50,000. And the prosecution was actually very upset about that, and you know, I don't know what happened after that, but you know, I don't know if attorneys they talk amongst each other or they send out addendums or I don't know, you know, I don't know what they do, but I was getting phone calls literally 5-6 times a week asking me how I did it, you know, because there was a lot of people being indicted for the same thing, right? So, so you know, I started working on new cases, you know, and that's where that kind of led me into working on 5 cases ultimately, right? After a certain amount of time of doing real estate appraisal, I became a little complacent. You know, after a while, I was like, it's kind of the same old thing over and over and over. It's reports and reports. I got a little complacent. So what I did was I applied for a job as a review appraiser. And oddly enough, right around the same time, I got a phone call from an employer that saw one of my appraisals, and they wanted me to work with them, right? Excuse me. Excuse me, I have a frog in my throat. They wanted me to work with them, so it was kind of like a shoe in to get into the company because they enjoyed my work, right? So I became a review appraiser, and oddly enough, this company did all 50 states, right? So I thought I knew a lot in appraisal when I went in there, already being in the business 13 years at that point. I thought I knew a lot of what was going on in appraisal. And wow, when I went to that company, they taught me that I really didn't know much, right? Because now when you start doing all 50 states, you start learning all the different counties, all the different states. But one thing that I did find out for sure is that most of the appraisers that are out there, and I would say probably 90% of them, don't have a clue what they're doing, right? They really are just filling out a form and relying on the information without doing any real analysis on the property. And you know, that was kind of by design. You know, a lot of people depended on appraisals, and they would tell them, "Hey, I need this value," and they would just come up with the value. You know, it was pretty easy for them to do. So it opened my eyes to that. I was there for quite some time. We'll be back in just a moment after a word from our sponsors.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back with some more real estate rant.
Theticketsurgeon.com. Reach us at 855-WIN-4-199.
Did you get caught speeding, texting while driving, or doing anything else you weren't supposed to do?
Give us a call. Don't miss work. Don't lose out on the money. Don't get any more points. What about your insurance? Let us fight for you. Theticketsurgeon.com at 855-WIN-4-199.
Are you watching the game at home? Why? Come watch it at Mambo Grill, the hottest spot in Downey. You'll have good food, drinks, and a great time at a low price. We have the coldest beer in our sports bar, where you can enjoy the game on any of our huge flat screen TVs. And when your home team wins, you get 25% off anything in Mambo Grill. We're on Downey Avenue, 1 block north of Firestone, or visit us on the web. Mambo Grill. Love at first bite.
What up, foodie freaks? It's Chef Bev Lazo with the Culinary Trend Show. Join me and my brigade every Thursday night from 8 to 9 p.m. where we will be cooking up some crazy stuff that will give you the appetite for discussion. It's all about the good food, good friends, and good times. Only here on RantRadioNetwork.com.
We are the Three Guys Rant,
with Arvin, Mike, and Phil.
coming to you on the Rant Radio Network every Monday from 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can call us at 855-69 The Three Guys.
It's not the three guys. This is why you should turn in, because one has Tourette's. The other one's illiterate.
You really should listen in. You never know what's going to happen.
855-69-3-GUYS. G-U-Y-S and the number 3, not the.
Faces for radio, voices for the deaf.
Look forward to talking to you.
Hey, I'm audio candy. I don't know about you guys.
Hi, I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez.
And I'm Kelly V. Dolan.
And we are excited to announce our show Live with Aaron and Kelly is on Rant Radio Network. What do we talk about on our show, Kelly?
We talk about everything from entertainment to business and tech, and we have a few laughs in between.
That's right. Go check us out on RantRadioNetwork.com. That's
Hi everyone, this is Dawn Garcia and I'm your host of A Taste of Dawn Radio, a show about discovering the passions, the sexy, and the moments we're savoring. Tune in for live music, celebrities, inspiring visionaries, and everything in between. See you every Wednesday on Rant Radio Network from noon to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And remember, live life well.
Live from the Rant Radio Network,
You're listening to Real Estate Rant with your host, Alex Alanis.
and your co-host, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez.
No problems, just solutions for real estate needs, hot topics, and controversial chat.
Back in the day.
Hello there, welcome back. I'm Alex Alanis. I'm here with Mr. Juan Ramos. We print for you.
We print with you.
We
The
print
letter
with
U.
you. Sorry about that. Mr. Mario Flores with Clean to Please. Yes. And we have a new addition to the group this morning, Coach Mike Davis. And hello there. Good morning, sir.
How you doing?
Make sure you're speaking to the mic. Mike, right?
Mike.
Yeah, there you go. Coach Mike, you're starting a show here at Rant Radio Network.
Yes, Kids in Sports. It's about youth sports, T-ball to teen, and some college action in there too. Help parents guide their kids through their journey through youth sports.
Now, is there a league or something that you belong to?
Well, I'm actually a high school coach, varsity coach. But no, I did the show, used to be on the air for a while. It had a good following. Economy got tough all around, took a little break. But it's time to get back, and I'm anxious. I've talked to a few of my listeners, and they're glad to hear that I'm coming back up because it's a big topic, and a lot of people are involved with it.
Now, Mike, I saw you come in the door right now. You know, I saw you wade through the window there. I figured I'd invite you in, right?
I appreciate that. Nice guy.
Yeah, okay. So tell me, what does that have to do with real estate? I'm just kidding.
I got a lot of parents.
Okay, right on.
That own property and will buy property and stuff like that. So that they want to have the nice house next to the nice high school so their kids go to the right place and get their scholarships and everything else.
I knew I brought you in for a reason, Mike. Let's do the AGR push, right? And then, why don't we do that? To our listeners, you can call in anytime at 855-693-4897. Again, that's 855-693-4897. That's if you're not watching the video feed. You can watch the video feed at www.rantradionetwork.com. Just click on watch live broadcast, right? I think that's what it says. Anyway, that's if you're not watching the video feed. The phone number's on the screen. You can give any of us a call, give us a comment, question, or a beef. Again, because this is our second show, a beef is a complaint, right? Mike, do you own real estate?
No, I did it one time. I kicked myself in the you-know-what. Many years ago, the first house I bought was over in Phoenix. I bought a three-bedroom.
What part of Phoenix?
27th Avenue in Camelback. West side.
What's on Scottsdale?
No, Phoenix, West Phoenix.
Goodyear?
No. So you guys don't know Phoenix.
Surprise.
No, that's way out. When I grew up.
The West Side, isn't it?
No. When I grew up, Phoenix, Tempe, Mesa, separate cities. Now it's all, L.A. But
do you know what Queen Creek is?
Oh, yeah. I used to deliver soda pop down there.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
soda
I know.
Pop.
Yeah, that was. It
It
used to take an hour to get to Queen Creek. That was on my route. I had Williams Air Force Base when it was open, and Chandler and Queen Creek, all that.
I have to ask, what kind of soda pop?
Our main, I had RC. We had RC. We had the Crush. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We had all that stuff. And I could tell you some interesting stories. But no, I bought my first house with for $25,000. PITI was $256,000. I lost my job, and I felt unfairly at the time, and I was mad. And so I tried to do something that was out of the box, and it flopped. And I learned a whole lot about real estate. The loan we thought was FHA wasn't FHA. And all of a sudden, instead of foreclosing on me, they quick paid me to stay another 30 days and move out. And looking back with what I know now, I probably could have owned the house free for what was done. I mean, there was some stuff behind. It was some crooked stuff. But
well, with that with that amount of PITI, now for the listeners who don't know what that is, that's principal, interest, tax, and insurance.
Everything.
Right? Well, what about mortgage insurance? That didn't
no.
exist back then? Well,
I don't know if it existed, but no.
With the payment of what was it?
256. That's what I mean. I kicked myself. How did I lose?
Can you get over that? 256. I would die for a payment like that right now. My goodness.
What's worse, my aunt and uncle used to live 2 houses away. They had bought their home in the 60s, and their payment was $86 a month.
PITI.
PITI. The whole ball
you could pay off a house in a year nowadays, right?
Wow.
That's just how it is.
Well, no, my first job, though, working at a grocery store, I was making $1.20 an hour. So
it's all relative.
It's all relative.
So it's relative. Sure,
Yeah.
sure. I mean, you're not making $500, $600 a week and paying $247 for your mortgage.
Well, I'm still making $1.20 an hour, but some things never change.
So you mentioned what your show is about. Do you have any co-hosts?
Not yet. I usually do bring in guests. I like to get them in the studio live when I can, because it's always better when you got a group and you can see. But I do get some from other states, and that we'll do a phone interview with. And I try to bring different coaches in. I bring players in, umpires. That's a good topic, because everybody wants to complain about the umpires. They got the toughest job out there.
Actually, I was listening to the show the other day. Three Guys Rant. Okay, they're on the
I've
Rant
heard
Radio
of those
Network.
guys.
Yeah, exactly. They were actually talking about and I think they were talking about this. I'm not totally sure, but I think I heard it on that show about some of the fights that break out at some of the sporting events.
Yeah.
There was one here in Pico Rivera that made the headlines. There was a couple of dudes who went to jail because they got in a big old fight. They even had that on video. And it was like just a mosh pit of people just getting in there and everybody wanted to hit somebody. They're letting their aggressions out.
I've been kicked out of a Little League game before.
Have you really?
Yeah.
For what?
Yeah. It was
What'd you
horrible.
get kicked out for?
It was my little brother. He was really into baseball. And it was like a championship game. And it was just a close game. It was a lot of tensions were growing, So ref made a really bad call against my brother. And I was young and dumb, and just not thinking. There's no filter, right? So
it was just a couple days ago, right, Mario?
Yeah, this is last week.
Okay,
so
there you go.
I let the ref have it. I mean, just every F bomb. And,
oh, really?
He said one more time, and you're going to be out of here. And I said,
That's got to be one of the most patient umps I ever.
Yeah,
the first one or two F-bombs, you're gone.
And then so he said that, and I said it again to him. He said, get out of here. So he said, go all the way to the back, and he gave me an actual point where I had to leave. Don't go past that trash can back there.
Really?
Yeah, but thank God there was a family having a barbecue back there. And they kind of heard about it. So I was hanging out with the people at the barbecue, and yeah.
So you got a chicken taco out of it.
Yeah, I got tacos and beer out of it.
You better be careful. You're wearing a blue shirt, Alex. You might have flashback here. See that blue shirt on.
Right,
okay.
blue.
All right. Well. Yeah. So okay. Well, welcome, Mike.
Thank you.
Any idea when your show's going to be airing?
First show will be June 4th. I'm going to air Tuesday mornings from 9 to 11.
Oh, okay. Right on.
Yeah. And it's hard to pick what time. There's some people that can listen in. That's the neat thing about the podcast and the internet that they're doing here at Rant Radio. And, people are at work when the show's on. They can't get the live thing. So they get home at night, get there, see, build up
watch
your phone.
the recorded one.
That's
yeah.
it.
That's yeah, because I've watched my show about 10 times already, right?
You like it?
Yeah. I mean, there's some things I like to work on the show, Sometimes I sound nervous, Sometimes, I get little blocks and pauses, right, that I like to work through because, I listen to a lot of the professional broadcasts that are out there, and they're just flowing. I want to get to that point. That's what I'm really interested in doing. I wanted to just remind the listeners again, if you have any questions for Coach Mike or Mario, myself, or Juan, you can call us at 855-693-4897. You can also I wanted to remind anybody that happens to call in and gets on the air with us can be put into I don't know, what do you call it? It's not a raffle. Put into a bowl, right? And
drawing.
A drawing.
That's
That's what I was looking for. Thanks, Mike. For a $25 gift card for Stevens Steakhouse in the City of Commerce, and also we have a teeth whitening treatment.
Ooh.
I want the steakhouse. What's the number again?
Okay, there you go. Stevens Steakhouse, right? This teeth whitening treatment. They're located at 7218 Garfield Avenue in the city of Bug Gardens, right? So we have one of those as well. To any callers that call in and happen to be put into the drawing, right?
I drove down here. Doesn't that count? That's better than calling. I mean,
we'll talk later, Coach Mike.
Buy him a sandwich.
Yeah, maybe you get a Subway after the show.
Get him a Subway after.
I think Alan brought some donuts, right? So anyway, make a long story short, I wanted to just kind of finish up on my resume. The email that sent it kind of created a little bit of grief, right, for me, a little bit of non-sleep, if you will.
Get it out.
Lost
Vent
a little
it
bit.
out.
I need to vent it out. I want to give my resume. The email was that this person said, "What right do I have to be on the radio? Like, what qualifications, right?"
Really?
Yeah. So like I said, at first I was a little angry about it, right? But then I thought about it. I said, you know what? That's a legitimate question. Exactly. Wouldn't you say one? I mean, that's. I'm thinking to myself, yeah, what right do I have to be on the radio and talk about real estate, right? One of the things that I didn't want to mention is because I get these phone calls daily, right? People will call me and ask me questions. Why is my realtor doing this? Why is my realtor telling me this, right? And it's like, I don't know. I can tell you what I would do, but I have no clue why certain people are telling in other professions. I mean, you guys probably get that in your professions as well, a lot of people, rule of thumb, they get 3 estimates on things, right? Or they want to interview 3 people. I know when I was interviewing doctors for my son, we went to go 3 different specialists. We wanted to talk to 3 different people. Well, why wouldn't it be the same with realtors, right? You just trust the referral that you get from an individual. I mean, most of the clients that I have, they've already talked to other realtors. They just happen to stick with me because I'm telling them, I'm giving them the cards on the table, right?
Can I ask you something, Alex?
Absolutely.
How long have you been in real estate?
Well, I've been in different capacities about 25 years.
You had to get the same license that every other realtor out there gets, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And
So
I had an appraisal license as well.
Well, what gives you the right to be here is the fact that you know a lot. You may not be the most superest expert, although you want to say you are, of course.
No,
we all are. But
I'm not.
But just say, and it's the old customer service thing. If I don't know the answer, I'll find it for you. You know where to look. If I wanted to go buy a house right now, okay, if I got some money, I win that $370 million, and I'm going to be calling you, and I'm going to say, what do I want? What do I do? What's the best place to go? You're going to know that stuff, and you're here. You're here to answer those. Those other realtors out there still beating the streets. You're here helping us.
I could get into that, Uncle Mike. That's actually probably a whole another show, right? Mm-hmm. But ultimately, this is the thing is that I think that most people have a misconception about realtors that they are the ones making these decisions, right? That brings us up to our commercial break. Please stay tuned. First, a word from our sponsors.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back with some more real estate rant.
The views and opinions expressed by the host or any guest on this show are encouraged to be followed up by a professional tax advisor or attorney, as we are not qualified or authorized to give advice in 2 areas: legal matters and tax matters.
This is Anthony Sykes, your host for Sykes Accounting and Consulting radio show, where we help small businesses grow and give you tax tips every Tuesday from 6 to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Catch us here on rantradionetwork.com. Thank you.
Saddle up. This is rantradionetwork.com.
This segment's sponsored by Mucho Macho Michelada. Whenever you got to spice up your beer, Mucho Macho Michelada is for you. Only real men.
Did you say mucho macho?
Mucho Macho, baby, where the real men come to drink.
Hey, I don't always drink michelada, but when I do, I drink mucho macho michelada.
If only Arvin could be a little more mucho macho.
Will it put some hair on my chest?
No, but te quema entrando y saliendo.
TheTicketSurgeon.com. Reach us at 855-WIN-4199.
Did you get caught speeding, texting while driving, or doing anything else you weren't supposed to do?
Give us a call. Don't miss work. Don't lose out on the money. Don't get any more points. What about your insurance? Let us fight for you. TheTicketSurgeon.com at 855-WIN-4199.
Looking for a delicious, fresh family meal that's ready when you are and easy on your budget? Welcome to Piara Pizza. We make our pizzas with handmade dough, 100% real cheese, and tomato sauce blended with our own spices. Nothing is ever frozen. We always have large pepperoni and cheese pizzas fresh and waiting for you for only $5. Or choose one of our specialty pizzas. We have veggie, meat lovers, supreme, and Hawaiian. Add an order of our amazing hot wings, cheesy bread, or breadsticks. Our locations are ultra-modern, ultra-clean, and open 7 days a week. Visit any one of our locations today, or check us out on the web at www.piarapizza.com. Piara Pizza. Fresh, hot, and ready for you when you come in. Stop in for your Piara Pizza today.
The experts know that for pastry, Baker's Bodega has it all. Exclusive brands like Westco Bankmark, Satin Ice, and Pastry Pride. One-on-one day seminars for cake decorating and gelatin art. So for our service, wide range of ingredients and supplies, and for the low prices, Baker's Bodega has it all. But you don't need to be an expert. Baker's Bodega, 7869 Paramount Boulevard in Pico Rivera. Come, we're waiting for you.
We are the Three Guys Rant.
With Arvin, Mike, and Phil.
Coming to you on the Rant Radio Network every Monday from 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can call us at 855-69 The Three Guys.
It's not the Three Guys. This is why you should turn in, because one has Tourette's. The other one's illiterate.
You really should listen in. You never know what's going to happen.
855-69-3-GUYS. G-U-Y-S and the number 3, not the.
Faces for radio, voices for the deaf.
Look forward to talking to you.
Hey, I'm audio candy. I don't know about you guys.
Welcome to the Monster Marketing Group, your one-stop shop for all your marketing needs. Anything you need to make that marketing and advertising campaign stand out, we're your people. Concept, design, production, social media, anything that you can dream up, we're going to make happen for you. And we can do it in a very quick turnaround. Please give us a call at 888-49-MONSTER.
Live from the Rant Radio Network,
You're listening to Real Estate Rant with your host, Alex Alanis.
And your co-host, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez.
No problems, just solutions for real estate needs, hot topics, and controversial chat. Hello and welcome back to Real Estate Rant. Mister, there you go again, huh?
Now you're going to think about it the
Coach,
rest of
well, no, that's good. That's good. Hey, you know what? I appreciate the criticism. I really do. Coach Mike is actually a coach of something else, right?
Yeah, I do a little public speaking. I've been a Toastmaster since 1990.
And what did you say about me right
Too
now?
many ums.
Too many ums.
I've gotten in the habit. I haven't
agree.
been around.
I agree with you.
It's because your mind, you know you want to say something, but your mind hasn't quite got there yet. Your mind wants to say something, but you don't know what you want to say, so it sticks something in there.
I'm trying to think of the right words.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
There you go.
You know, and the other thing that I noticed on the very first show that we did, I said actually, frankly, ultimately, way too many times.
Oh, okay.
You know?
It's easy to get stuck. Listen to a sports thing. How many guys go, you know.
You know, I feel like I feel like a teenager. I used to correct my teenage daughter on that all the time. Yeah. She said "like" way too many times. You know, there was seven likes in her just in one sentence.
Valley Girl,
something like that. You know. Totally. I just wanted to actually let's get some sound effects going here. I like the sound effects. Although I'm not sure what this is here. Let's see.
Just don't play a crash.
Just trying to bring in the following Craigslist scam, right? I saw this come over on an email, and it talks about how somebody would put up a listing for lease on a property, and they would put $3,000 a month, or it would be $3,000 a month, but they would say it's only $1,000, right? And I'll just read this verbatim. Please be aware of rental advertisements that look too good to be true. And it has a name here. I won't say who it is. Well, actually, they're the past president, Patty Theaker, Theaker, past president of PWR, brought a rental listing scam on Craigslist to our attention. In other words, she was the one that brought it to the attention of the members. The scammer had listed a house for rent way below market value in return for absolute maintenance of the house, which was vacant and not assigned to the property manager. A perfect target for a scammer. Patty's client had emailed the owner, who then requested she completed a rental application and forward a security deposit. So ultimately, they're after that security deposit, right? I did want to mention this to the listeners. If you're interested in more information about that, you can email me at Rant. I'm sorry. There I go again. I always get tongue-tied on that, right? Real Estate Rant Radio at gmail.com. That's Real Estate Rant Radio at gmail.com. I'll let you skimmer through that, Mr. Juan.
You know where a lot of that was going on? I don't know. I think they've gotten better maybe, but especially the economy was down Palmdale several years ago.
In Lancaster area?
Lancaster, that whole area. They said these people would go, they'd find a house that was vacant, and they would list it, they come in and get the first upfront money or whatever. You don't see them anymore. And
they would prey on the people that were in need of economic rentals, right? Because they were hurting. You know, where are you going to go to get low-income housing? You know, you have to go to the outlying areas. The Upper Desert was, and still is, a place to do that, right? So you still have those scams out there. So I'm just letting our listeners know about these scams, and if you have questions, you know, call a realtor. You know, give a realtor a call and have them represent you. As a matter of fact, if you call a realtor and they represent you, a lot of times their services are free because the seller or the landlord pays their fee. The actual tenant or buyer on the property doesn't pay that. There's no out-of-pocket monies. I wanted to come back to my resume. Seems like we're ranting a lot about this individual. And again, it was an individual that questioned my qualifications and what right do I have to be on the radio. And I did want to kind of just give a short resume. It's turning out to take up 3 segments, right? With all the rest of the rant that we got going on. Finally, after getting laid off from the company that I was working with, which was actually the third largest lender in the country and probably the world, we did all 50 states. And at some point, they were bought out by another company, and there was a big layoff. Well, I didn't make the first layoff because apparently I had the least amount of kickouts. And what that means is that every time I did a review, Wall Street that we were contracted to sell these loans to they didn't kick them back as often as some of the other reviewers. So I was one out of 90 appraisers on my floor. I was one of 6 that was retained.
You were doing your job.
I was doing my job. Okay. And I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. My wife will tell you that, Alex, you're a little bit retarded when it comes to this because everybody else just kind of signs their name to it and lets it go, you know. And she, how come you just don't get out of there? I'm always like the last person in the building, you know. And I can use the word retarded, by the way, because I have a Down syndrome child, so I know what that means, right? And I'm using it in frame of reference in terms of me just having this psychosis of doing my job, you know. And so anyway, where most people just kind of put it on the wayside, you know, they just kind of throw it aside. So I was at that job now, and they put me on something called the Alice Buyback Program, where I was now narratively trying to convince Wall Street to buy these deals because they were under contract. And the way that they were actually kicking them out was they were using BPOs from realtors, and they were justifying their kick out with these BPOs. Well, anybody that knows anything about BPOs knows that realtors really don't know what they're doing too much when it comes to value.
For those that don't know, what does BPO stand for?
Broker price opinion, okay? And, the CFRs and government rules really doesn't allow BPOs to be done on federally insured transactions, but they were doing it anyway. So my job was to convince otherwise. And I had a 90% turn, right? I think on my resume that would be a very good fact to put on any individual that's questioning my qualifications because, hey, I'm convincing Wall Street to buy back some of the loans that they're kicking out. And they really don't have a foot to stand on. I'm telling them narratively how they're supposed to take this under contract. And then lastly, I became a realtor because when I got laid off, well, I mean, what was I supposed to do? I was already in the business about 18, 19 years. What was I supposed to do? Go flip burgers? I mean, I knew nothing else. That was it. Real estate. That was my thing. So I went and I applied for my license. I got my license in 4 months, right? Because, quite frankly, I could just challenge the test. I didn't have to take any classes. You know, when I was at the company here, it was at Orange at the Block, right? Or is it the Block at Orange?
No, it's not. It's Outlet Centers. We're having our awards banquet there tonight.
They changed the name to the...
It's the Outlet Centers of Orange or something like that.
Well, when I was there, it was the
Block
at
of
Orange.
Yeah.
The Block at Orange. When I was there, they, I lost my train of thought. What was I talking about?
About your licensing.
Your resume.
Oh, well.
You didn't want to flip burgers.
I didn't want to flip burgers. So what was I going to do? I was challenging the test. When I was at that company, they actually put us through a lot of training. It was a constant training. I mean, a good part of my month was going to training classes and getting those certifications. I actually had to go to Arizona. I had to go to Nevada. I go to Utah, Washington to get my license there.
Wow.
It was reciprocal licensing. So ultimately, it was just paying a fee, right? Mm-hmm. But a lot of those individuals in those states, because, we are reviewing their appraisals here in California, and a lot of those people came up in arms saying, hey, you know what? Why is a California appraiser appraising my property in Utah? They're not even licensed here, right? Well, I could tell a lot of those people, you know what? The licensed appraisers in your state really don't know what they're doing, right? And I can show you why, right? Not only they're not following certain guidelines, but they also were not appraising these properties the way they should have been appraised.
It sounds like another show for you. That you can bring an appraiser.
That's gonna be a whole nother show.
Be a good show.
I already have the gentleman that's gonna come in. We're gonna talk about that. So anyway, that part aside, what was I gonna do? Flip burgers, right? Yeah, right. So I went and got my real estate license. Early on, I noticed that a lot of companies that were out there were actually hurting. A lot of the realtor companies were hurting, and actually, Juan talked a little bit about that. When the mortgage meltdown happened, a lot of people that were in the business had to get out of it, right? You had to go get another job. You had to go do something else. So I realized early on that a lot of these companies were having problems. And so I started helping them run their business, right? I used to work for a company up here in Uptown Whittier, okay? And I was trying to help them to run their business, and I became the operations manager right away. So here I am, a new licensee, and I'm already the manager of an office, right? So again, another check mark off of the old resume in terms of my qualifications, right? And here I am now doing a radio show. I did give a shout out to Mr. Phil Longoria and the Rant Radio Network for giving us the opportunity, and I'd like to make the show as good as I can. Create a following, have people call in. I want to know what their beefs are, what are their complaints about real estate, and I'd like to address those things because I get phone calls on a daily basis about that, right?
There you go.
And I wish I could put those phone calls on the radio show. I wish there was a way to do it, and ultimately it's about somebody calling in. If you call in, again, listeners, if you'd like to call in with a question, comment, or a beef. The number here is 855-693-4897. Feel free to call anytime. I want to lead into something that is actually the subject matter of today's show, and that is we're going to talk dirty, right?
Yeah, we're talking dirty for sure.
Let's talk. Let's talk.
Well, you're going to go to the guy that was thrown out of a Little League game for talking dirty?
Yeah,
that's all right.
You see, it goes hand in hand today.
That's all right. We have a minute left, but I'll give Mario a quick introduction. Mario Flores with Clean to Please. Mario, we have about 45 seconds. Give us your intro.
Okay, great. We are Clean to Please, located here in Whittier, California. We service all of the San Gabriel Valley down to Long Beach. We do commercial, residential, so small to medium-sized offices and any home. So we'll go in and clean up your mess for sure, especially if you don't like to do it. A lot of people don't like to clean, so that's where we come into play.
And you're.
Yep,
oh,
there
okay.
we go.
Well, here back to our sponsors again. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Real Estate Rant.
views and opinions expressed by the host or any guest on this show are encouraged to be followed up by a professional tax advisor or attorney, as we are not qualified or authorized to give advice in two areas: legal matters and tax matters.
Rant Radio Network.
TheTicketSurgeon.com. Reach us at 855-WIN-4-199.
Did you get caught speeding, texting while driving, or doing anything else you weren't supposed to do?
Give us a call. Don't miss work. Don't lose out on the money. Don't get any more points. What about your insurance? Let us fight for you. TheTicketSurgeon.com at 855-WIN-4-199.
Welcome to the Monster Marketing Group, your one-stop shop for all your marketing needs. Anything you need to make that marketing and advertising campaign stand out, we're your people. Concepts, design, production, social media, anything that you can dream up, we're going to make happen for you. And we can do it in a very quick turnaround. Please give us a call at 888-49-MONSTER.
What up, foodie freaks? It's Chef Bev Lazo with the Culinary Trend Show. Join me and my brigade every Thursday night from 8 to 9 p.m. where we will be cooking up some crazy stuff that will give you the appetite for discussion. It's all about the good food, good friends, and good times. Only here on RantRadioNetwork.com.
We are the Three Guys Rant
with Arvin, Mike, and Phil.
Coming to you on the Rant Radio Network every Monday from 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can call us at 855-69-THE-3-GUYS.
It's not the three guys. This is why you should turn in, because one has Tourette's. The other one's illiterate.
You really should listen in. You never know what's going to happen.
855-69-3-GUYS. G-U-Y-S and the number 3, not the.
Faces for radio, voices for the deaf.
Look forward to talking to you.
Hey, I'm audio candy. I don't know about you guys.
This segment's sponsored by Mucho Macho Michelada. Whenever you got to spice up your beer, Mucho Macho Michelada is for you. Only real men.
Did you say mucho macho?
Mucho Macho, baby, where the real men come to drink.
Hey, I don't always drink michelada, but when I do, I drink mucho macho michelada.
If only Arvin could be a little more mucho macho.
Will it put some hair on my chest?
No, but te quema entrando y saliendo.
Are you watching the game at home? Why? Come watch it at Mambo Grill, the hottest spot in Downey. You'll have good food, drinks, and a great time at a low price. We have the coldest beer in our sports bar, where you can enjoy the game on any of our huge flat screen TVs. And when your home team wins, you get 25% off anything in Mambo Grill. We're on Downey Avenue, 1 block north of Firestone, or visit us on the web. Mambo Grill. Love at first bite.
Live from the Rant Radio Network,
You're listening to Real Estate Rant with your host, Alex Alanis.
and your co-host, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez.
No problems, just solutions for real estate needs, hot topics, and controversial chat. Welcome back. Mr. Juan, how's my hair? Is my hair okay?
A little bit.
I have to apologize to the next show because I have hair gel, and the
It's gonna stick to their head.
it's gonna.
I think you said no problems.
Well,
you got a solution for that?
The solution is maybe I can get one of those little tissues, right? I need one of those little tissues for my headset. I want to finish up on my resume deal. I am now a real estate agent and now hosting a radio show. And what I'm really interested in, we were just talking about this at the break, I'm interested in ensuring the public trust. I'm not necessarily interested in plugging my business, okay? Now, do I want business? Sure, I want business. I mean, I'd like to create a following and popularity for the show, okay? In terms of people calling in with their problems, I want to hear things that are going on currently. I want to hear about things that are going on or have happened in the past. That way everyone can hear those problems because, if you're not telling anybody about it or just within your circle of friends, it doesn't get much farther than that. And anybody that's in the market now may want to know those things. They want to know how do they prevent any of those problems happening or they want to purchase a home and they don't know the first thing about it. This is your place to come. You want to call, talk about it. Hey, there's no obligation here. I'm not plugging AGR
Well, I got
Associates.
a question for you. How long can you buy a home after being foreclosed?
The law recently changed to 5 years. Okay, but there are exceptions because what you're really talking about is what a lender is going to accept on an approval. If they see that, oh, you got foreclosed on 3 years ago, but you've got good income, and they may make an exception, right? So there's no hard and fast rule to that.
You said a law says you can't.
Law says 5 years. Right?
Okay, no. The law is that a lender can put a foreclosure on your credit for 5 years.
Okay.
It recently changed from 7. It was 7 years before that, but now it's 5. Now that's a foreclosure. Now a short sale, it changed from 5 years to 2. Okay. But what I'm saying is that, hey, I've gotten people approved that just recently got a short sale after, and they've only been out of it for maybe 18 months. So there's no hard and fast rule. It's just the ruling has to do with how long they can put it on your credit.
Right. Okay.
Okay. That's where the ruling goes. Okay.
Okay.
I wanted to keep talking about Mr. Mario here. He's actually the reason why we had the show this morning, right, Mario?
Oh, special guest.
Special guest today, right? We wanted to talk dirty, but let's start clean now, right? And I can't see the page here, so excuse me with my glasses. The cleaning industry. Let's see, where was I? There's actually, in Southern California, over 300,000 cleaning businesses, right?
300,000?
300,000.
That's it.
That's it, huh? Now, these are 2010 statistics, so I'm thinking that possibly there's more than that now.
Plus one.
Plus Clean to Please, right? Now, Clean to Please, Mario, why don't you give us your number? How did they get a hold of you?
My number is 562-355-8041, and my partner is Kendra. Her number is 949-892-7801, and you can reach us at both those numbers, or my email is mario@cleantoplease.com, and we can be reached there as well if you have any questions, or we can come out and give you a free estimate of your office or your home.
Now, the cleaning industry is actually comprised of cleaning and janitorial services, carpet and upholstery cleaning, and laundry services. Which one do you guys focus on?
We focus mainly on the cleaning portion of it. We stay away from the laundry services. I have somebody that I use for carpet servicing that's actually professional. I got a kind of a funny story about that. We recently had a client that wanted to get about 2,000 square feet of carpet cleaned, and I said, "Well, I could do that. That's not a big deal." So,
now, was this a business or a house?
It was a business.
Okay,
it was a business. I can go in there and do that. So we went in there, spent about a good 3 hours of, carpet cleaning and getting, doing it the right way, and got done with everything. It took about 3 hours, and I looked at it and I said, "This does not look good." I did not like it. So.
Well, at least you have some pride of ownership.
Absolutely. And it was on a Saturday, so I came back on Monday to take a look at it again, and looked at it, and I said, "This is horrible." I said, "I don't like it at all. It didn't come out right." So I went up and spoke to the owner and said, "Hey, I don't really like what turned out," and I got a professional carpet cleaner to come out, and he did a wonderful job. Client was happy.
So are you saying that it wasn't professional what you did?
It just didn't look right. It didn't look right. I didn't like the way it came out.
To your standards.
To my standards.
Well,
so.
and that just goes to show about your service. That to me, that there's a certain level of honesty that goes along with that, because a lot of people would just say, "Hey, you know what? It's good enough." And
they'll be out of business in a month. You can't be honest today.
Yeah, in a month. But we were honest with ourselves and said, "You know what? I'm not going to let the client." Live with this. I'd rather do it right.
And you want the referral. I mean, it's about them being happy with your service, and that they were able to depend on you to do it right.
Exactly.
Right. Do you ever get something like this, Mario? Can we put one of the pictures of look at that? There's like about 25 cats in there. I saw this picture on the internet, and I go, man, I got to put this on the show. This is a cleaning project, if anything. I mean,
were you picking in my windows? That's looks like
is that your house, Mario?
I'm just kidding.
What about this? Look at that.
That's my back bedroom right there.
Yeah, I've actually done appraisals in Los Angeles where there was literally just a trail from the front door to the kitchen and then maybe to the hallway, but it looked just like that.
Just
okay,
junk everywhere.
Where the only way to get to access any part of the property was just this little trail. Everything else was trash.
Hoarders.
Well, I mean, I'm calling it trash, but to these individuals, and here's another one. To these individuals,
trailer in a house.
This is.
No.
Oh, I see what it is.
Wall.
Yeah,
That's the wall.
Oh, okay. But to these individuals, this is their property. You know, they're just not throwing it out. Do you ever come across anything like that?
We just actually not that bad, but we just did a project for you recently.
Okay.
And it was a clean out.
It was something like that, right? It wasn't that bad.
It looked like that's what it looks like. What is there now? That's probably being replaced as we speak.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty bad. We did a clean out for Alex and
well,
his company.
On that one there, at least you can still go, right? I mean, there's plenty of reading materials on there, right?
Oh yeah, if we're not out of toilet paper, you got a whole gamut to look at. But
so let's see. Now you just recently did a clean out for me, Mario. This now there was a little bit of hoarding going on in this room.
Oh, it was horrible,
right? But now we're trashed out there.
Yeah. It was just boxes upon boxes everywhere, and that room was absolutely horrible. It was just trash everywhere, paper everywhere, piled high, old tools, and it was not looking good. And that's the back house.
Yeah, too bad I didn't have before pictures, because I remember this particular storage area was just packed with stuff, similar to some of the pictures that we saw before.
Right. It was just, and this room was, this room.
It looked nothing like that.
Nothing like
Yeah.
that. No. It looked really, really bad. The kitchen looks way better than what it was.
Well, it's like night and day as far as I can see.
Yeah, night and day. I wish there was before pictures, because before it was.
Now the cleaning industry, I saw I was doing a little bit of research, and I saw a lot of other services that are out there. And I'll just kind of run through a couple of them. And, wow, the print's kind of small on here, but suicide cleanup.
Oh, yeah, that's specialty cleanup. That's, you have to have, like, hazmat specialty licensing to do that stuff.
Wow.
And
Were they coming with the suits and all that?
Yeah, you have to really have some really solid special chemicals to do that, and I don't have the stomach. I couldn't do it. I mean, it sounds cool. It sounds like, it sounds like, NCIS or Law and Order stuff, but someone's got to do it, and it's a very lucrative industry. I mean, you're getting paid thousands of dollars to do.
Well, one thing is suicide cleanup. The other one is homicide cleanup. Decomposition cleanup.
Ooh.
Can you imagine
some type
that?
of license, don't you?
You need some special certifications, to do that.
What was that one they just said in the news a couple weeks? Somebody they think that had been in the home for a couple of months.
Oh, that would be horrible. Yeah.
I mean, can you just imagine?
Walk in and pass out. That's what I do. Walk in. The smell would be horrendous.
I've actually walked into some places when I was doing appraisal that you get the smell of death. There's nothing like it.
Yeah.
It is just, like you said, you're going to pass out.
Yeah.
That's how bad it is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we talked about hoarding cleanup. There's something here called trauma cleanup, accident cleanup, gross filth cleanup, tear gas cleanup.
You know what? I'm sure it leaves a mess. It is a white resin, right? It leaves a white resin everywhere, that tear gas. I've never been
What
tear
about
gas.
insurance? Do you guys required to have insurance for your services?
Licensed and bonded we are. Yes, you should, because if you go into a home and something happens, or you go into a business and something happens, they want to know that you're.
Well, you had a funny story, actually. You went into a business and the cops rolled up on you guys?
Yeah. You got to make sure you turn off the alarm and make sure everything is make sure things are in order. But it's
so. But wait a minute. So the owner didn't tell you that there was an alarm. They just give you the key.
No,
said,
there's an alarm.
That's like a dirty joke.
Yeah. No, but you got to turn the alarm off the right way, I guess.
What
the right way?
I don't remember hiring no cleanup guy.
Clerical error.
Don't tell them about that last button. Let's see the cops roll up on them, right?
Clerical error. But it's a good business. I mean, I've been in the business just recently, but I got into it just because it's in much need. Even though there's 300,000 companies out there, it depends on what your company is and what you guys stand for. Because one company does not do one thing and they're looking for a brand new company.
Well, the reason I brought that up is because it's almost like we take it for granted. There is a lot of people in the cleaning business. We just don't realize it, you know. And you know, there is some specialty to it. Like you said, bonded and insured. There's also certifications that you need. There's a lot more behind the scenes that we don't think about. You think about a maid service. Oh, wow, they're just coming in and use 409 and 409 your place. It's a lot more than that, is what I wanted to say. And for those individuals that were calling, we actually have a call coming in, but we got to wrap up. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks for tuning in to Real Estate Rant Radio.
Make sure to join us every Wednesday at 10 a.m.
on the Rant Radio Network, where we talk about solutions to your real estate problems.
The views and opinions expressed by the host or any guest on this show are encouraged to be followed up by a professional tax advisor or attorney, as we are not qualified or authorized to give advice in two areas: legal matters and tax matters.